Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Ah, I see a couple of people in here. Yesterday was very interesting. I got already, I sent out notices about the stream and something happened, but I'll tell you that a little bit. If I tried to notify people that we're gonna go on anyway, I am not gonna give up on this. I'm just not. Whatever the issues are causing this stream and my going live not to happen, I'm going to solve them and plow through. Yesterday, I was so mad yesterday. I was almost in tears, y'all, because I was so ready. I was fired up yesterday. I was like, oh, we're going on here. Because Friday, I feel like we did so well. And I got a lot of stuff out. People were asking questions. I was answering questions. And then I was so ready yesterday, and there was an issue. But do me a favor and let people know that I'm on. I did try to send that message out maybe about 10 minutes ago. I sent it out on a couple of platforms. I don't know how to send it out on some of the platforms. I just don't know. So, and I don't have my help with me here in Costa Rica. So just do whatever it is you guys do to let people know I'm out there. So this is what happened yesterday. You know how on your computer you have these bars to tell you how your internet is doing. I had all bars, the little thing that goes around. I had every last one of them, and I was so struggling to figure out why everything kept splitting. Every time I tried to pull up a site, anything, I tried to pull up Facebook, I tried to pull up Instagram, all of that stuff. And let me go. Just forget about that. I don't even know if I'm on Instagram. I'm not gonna mess with anything today. Nothing would work. And I couldn't understand that because I had all the internet. I have the best internet here. And today, it was going in my mind. I said, I'm going to do this tonight. I've got to figure out what went wrong. And it dropped into my spirit, you guys. The bandwidth was being taken up because yesterday, Friday, I didn't have cameras on my house here in Costa Rica. Yesterday, between 2 o'clock and like 6 o'clock, two of the three security cameras got put up. And I would have never thought of bandwidth. That's not, I don't deal with that stuff. But that's what it was. It wasn't anything else. It was the fact that the two cameras that got put up yesterday took up so much bandwidth that every time I tried to click into anything on my computer, it just did like that. And so what happened today is I figured out how to cut them off. I actually just cut the cameras off. I'm going to cut the cameras off until I get ready to go home. But when I cut the cameras off, then I had to go out and do some stuff. And I came back early to make sure that it works, and it works. So I'm getting ready to get started. I wanted to talk first about some of the things, and I have a list of a whole bunch of things that frustrating about being in the rat race. And to avoid them or stop them. The first one I wanted to talk about, and I noticed this, I talk to people a lot and I listen to their frustrations. I have had people at my desk crying. I don't often have clients come to my office, my home office, but they do sometimes. I have a box of tissue on my desk because they'll sit there and cry. But one man cry, but a lot of ladies will cry about all the stuff that's going on with them. And I understand that. One of the things is a lot of people, you all, are working in fields that don't align with their personal interests. They're doing something that they're money, but it's not what they want to do. Say that 86% of the people, that's a lot of people, guys. That's a lot of people that don't like their jobs. That's one of the most frustrating things I can imagine. Somebody going to work day in, day out, whether they have a 9 to 5 or whether they work a different kind of shift, what they do. When people hate what they do, it reflects in how they don't know how to separate that from the job. So their attitude the job are really bad. You've seen it, especially in the service industry when you've gone into restaurants and you've seen some of the attitudes of some of the they don't want to be there and they don't know how to separate that from what they're doing as far as customer service. And it probably costs them money sometimes, especially if they have a job where you get tips, because even if you don't like what you do, you smile and have a nice attitude, you get more money. Maybe you don't know that. So operating in a field on a job that does not reflect what you really want to do is one of the most frustrating things about being in the rat race. I'm going to name 5 of them before we get into money stuff. The second one that I have down, I have like a whole bunch of them: limited flexibility in work hours or work location. Prior to 2020, most everybody was office or factory or whatever. Then 2020, people got really, really comfortable staying at home. How many of you in, I don't even chat, but I'll try to see, realize there it is that there are still people fighting not to go back. Even governmental agencies, they don't want to go back to the office. They want to do their jobs from home. And there are companies that are disputes and legal disputes with people that because those employees say, I'm working for 2 years. I sat here and I did this job, I did it well, and I did it from home. And I want to continue to do that. So that's I don't want to go into an office anymore. But a lot of people don't have control over that. In other words, you come back to the office or you work this particular shift and you don't work here, or you don't work here anymore. So control, have a lot of flexibility. Other frustrating things in the rat race. The third one that I want to talk about is slash favoritism slash nepotism. It's not about what you know. Sometimes it's about who you know, what you do with who you know. So you could be the best person. You could be the person that comes to work on time, does the best work. But if you have legs or the biggest six pack, or you're not the vice president's nephew or relative, you don't get a promotion. But I've seen instances and heard of instances where people have been working somewhere 3, 4, 5 years, and this comes in, there's favorable looking to the higher ups, and they get a promotion. And so that's a really thing about being in the rat race, because you feel unappreciated. Third, the fourth thing is, and this is a big one, salaries not keeping up with the cost of living. Companies these days feel like they have the upper hand, and if you don't like the salary that you have, or if you don't like your hours, if you don't like this, then there are 3 or 4 people waiting their applications to job. So either they can be quiet or let one of these other people take your job. I know of people who 6 figures and they got laid off because the job figured they can hire 2 or even 3 people to do that same job that the person that was making 6 figures made. So that's a really big one. Salary not keeping up with the cost of living. And I know a lot of people talk about that one. So people that are having that have 6 feels like a five-figure salary because it's not keeping up. The one that I'm going to mention today is your inability to use your skills and talents to their fullest on a job. So there's some things that you might see in the company that special skills and they have that, but they don't want to move you to that department, or you've given several suggestions on the job, but they don't want to take them. So that's an issue. How many of you in the chat have experienced anything like that? Whether it be you're working in a field that you don't have an interest in, whether you've been the victim of office politics where you didn't get a promotion over somebody that definitely was not as far as the work is concerned, but they had the eye or the ear of the boss. Have you been in a situation where your salary is not keeping up with the cost of living, or a situation where you've not been able to use your skills and talents to the fullest? I know a lot of people have been like that. So the way to combat that actually is to take control and do your own thing. So this is the way that I talk to my clients about it. First of all, don't quit the job. Most times when you have a job, you have benefits like health care, insurance for yourself and your family. You have the ability to get, what is that called? Disability insurance. So if something happens to you, then you're covered. You have the ability to see some savings plans, although I don't do that. I don't really, I mentioned before that I don't do these 401ks and mutual funds because they're in control of somebody else, and they can and have in the past disappeared in the blink of an eye. So I don't deal with those. But having a job is what my dad used to call beating the drum. You get paid every week or every 2 weeks or every month, however often you get paid. You know the paycheck is coming as long as you're on the job, and that takes care of your bills. That takes care of your rent or your mortgage. It takes care of your car note, insurances, and all that stuff like that. Food, that kind. And it's more of a maintenance for you. It's a maintenance. Now, it's okay to have maintenance, but in order for us to get out of our circumstances, we have to push forward and find ways to create income for our lives. Circumstances means you're standing in a circle, a self-imposed circle. We're doing. So when people say, "How are you doing?" and you say, "I'm okay under the circumstances," and when people say that to me, I say, "Well, get from under the circumstances." I see people all the time hating on or being jealous who went and got a business or started something, but then they won't do anything. They complain, shrug their shoulders, and go back and watch TV. Put in the chat. Somebody put in the chat a popular television show. If any of you all watch television, what's a popular television show that comes on during the week now? I can at least come up with something because I have no idea. The last one that I used about was Empire, and I think that's going. I have no earthly idea what they have, but whatever that is, people are doing that. Starting business, you all know I harp on that all the time. You can't say it too much. Starting a home-based business is what I'm going to try something right quick and see if it works. Please don't mess me up. Okay. All right. So this time it actually worked. I'm going to learn this thing. This is tell you all the simple steps to starting the home-based business. So first of all, you got a job, so you're working. Let's use 5 since most people those out job. Then I'm okay. So what do you do when you get home? And some people I nail them right here because I say what time do you have to be to work? I have to be to work at 9. So I leave the house at 8:15 so I can get to work at 9. Check. What time do you get off work? I get off work at 5. So I literally stop work at 5 o'clock. When I was an IRS agent, one of my bosses pulled me into the office and he said, one of the good things about you and the reason that you got promoted was you don't come to work at 8. You're already here at 8. You don't start packing up at 4:30 or 4:40. You work until 5 and then you pack up. That's just a hint for somebody. Anyway, so you get off work. And when I ask people, what time do you get off work? Let's say they get off at 5 o'clock. So what do you do? How long does it take you to get home? It takes me, let's use 30 minutes home. So you're home by 5:30. This is the question. Do between 5:30? No, what time? I go to bed at 10 o'clock. What do you do between 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30? That's 4.5 hours. 4.5 hours. Okay. Some of the good things that are done. Okay, you're eating dinner with your family. That's family bonding time. You're spending time with your friend, whether they're doing whatever that is. And then between 5 and 10 o'clock, you still should have 2 good hours to do something for your home-based business. Most of the people that I talk to are entertaining themselves, like watching TV and stuff. And as I said on Friday night, there's a time that we need to get radical, and this is the time. So I have gotten, even had clients between 5:30 and 10 o'clock, they're just wasting time. What I television, and I think a lot of you already know that, I call the television the electronic income reducer and the electronic intellect reducer. Understand that the television is made for you to get distracted away from what you are supposed to be doing with your life, and distracted from what value you have in the marketplace. So spending 2 hours a night at least working on their home business, what I have, and one of those nights a week we're on together and I'm coaching them on that business. When you start this home-based business, and it's got to be something that's going to make money. I do not work with people if I know whatever they want to do is not going to make any money. I let them know this is not going to make any money. A lot of my clients want to start nonprofit organizations. You can get a salary from a nonprofit organization, but when you are the chief executive director, that's the name. When you're the executive director of a nonprofit organization, you got to go find funding. And people won't give you funding if you don't have anything going on. So you'll be spinning your wheels trying to, apply for grants and get money from places. The way I work, wealthy organizations get money from other wealthy organizations, at least organizations who are doing something and collecting money. So it's going to take you a long time. Somebody told one of my that, oh, you can go start a nonprofit organization and you can get some grants and get some money out of it. It's changed a whole lot, and they have limited the amount of salary that you can pay out of a grant, because what ended up being is it was exposed that a lot of these nonprofit organizations, 50% money that's supposed to be coming in for charity is going for salaries. So that's not the way to go. So I'll tell them, no, you start a nonprofit organization when your for-profit business is starting to make a lot of money. And then there's some mixtures between for-profit and nonprofit that I work with a couple of clients that had that, but that works out. But still, the for-profit part was already making money before they started that nonprofit. So starting that home-based business, that's going to make money. Number one, figuring out that is and building that up. Then once it's built up, end of the year, which is what I told you that I was going to bless you. I know who you are. Bless you, Tony. When you build that business, be able to keep that money. You all know my little my brand is the KPG. Keep what you earn, protect what you earn, grow what you earn. That's what I'm all about. Helping you keep, protect, and grow what you earn. In that, when you make money, you got to be able to keep that money away from the IRS, away from predators and all that stuff like that. So the best way to keep your money, and this is what the wealthy people do, is to make sure that they understand tax deductions. Because Friday I said I was going to talk about that because someone asked about the best tax deductions. When I talk about tax deductions, I mean writing off legitimately the deductions you've taken in your business. And I say it like this: every time I breathe is tax deductible. Everything is tax deductible. For example, Thomas gave me or discount tickets to Universal Studios, and I had 3 of my students down there with me the first time I went there. And to go to Orlando from Atlanta and money and go to Universal Studios and I made that a tax deductible trip by doing a seminar in Orlando. So Thomas got a place set up for me. He and his family came. Some other people that I knew came, and it was a tax deductible trip because I did a seminar. You all get that when you go to H&R Block and those others, like input in, input out. You give them a whole bunch of stuff. They're going to put it together on, I'm going to give it back to you. They're not going to tell you, hey, they're not like I was the deduction queen when I left the firm. I still have people asking me to do tax return. That's been so long ago because I would sit there and ask, didn't you do this? Do you know that you can write off part of your internet? Do you know that you can part of your cell phone? No, they didn't. They weren't told that. They would give the accountant the information that they had. You don't know, and then they would get a tax return back. I had one lady that she was a medical doctor and her husband ran a trucking company. And she was very kind of standoffish, kind of. Husband was a little bit more, friendly. And, I was okay with both of them. They gave me copies of their W-2s and their records. They didn't give me the original. I didn't know why. I didn't ask why. So I did their tax return. This was back in the day, way back in like 99, 2000. I did return. And it was ready. They came over, they looked at it, and she sat there and she said to me, do you know why I gave you instead of originals? And I said, no, I was a little curious about that. What she said was, we have had an accountant for over 10 years. And we decided that, since we saw that you were out there and everybody was talking about how you can get these deductions and stuff, we wanted to try you out. We gave him the originals and we paid him to do our tax return like we do every year. And we also paid you to do the tax return with copies. And you saved us $4,000 then installations. You're our new person. So that's I love to see people keep what they earn. I love to see people make sure that we work hard, people. I know you all work hard. I work hard. Everybody works hard. And it's not fair for your money to be taken to do things with that you don't want done. Wars and all kind of other stuff like that. I didn't pay anybody. I don't want my money going to take somebody's oil, or that's just how I am. So keeping your money is very important. That the deductions that I'm going to tell you about, stay on that long because limit me to an hour, and I want to make sure that I get in there. But the deductions that I want to talk that are, how do I say this? Common when you start a business are, first of all of your expenses all the money that you spend on like supplies and things like that. If I'm going to make up some business, let's say you have something you do from home. You are you're repairing computers from home. You know how to repair computers from home, and you take a computer from and you do things part of that. All of the parts that you use to fix their computer and all of the parts that you put into their computers, like supplies, those are tax deductible. If you go to a conference somewhere to learn more about fixing computers, that whole trip is tax deductible. So those are two right there, your supplies and your travel. When you travel back and forth to Fry's or wherever you get these things from, that mileage is tax deductible. Those are three right there. You counties in the United States want you to have a business license. Really not a business license. It's an extortion for you to have a business in your home, especially if you don't have people in your home. Anyway, so that business license is a tax deduction, and sometimes they'll hit you for $400, $500, $600. The more in your home, the more they from you. For example, if you have business in your home, you're fixing computers, they may not ever know about it. Especially if you incorporate, they're going to know about it. But if you don't incorporate, they're not going to know about it, but they may find out about it. Especially if you have a business where people are coming to your home, because nosy neighbors might say something to the county. Hey, this must be something going on here that's not right because it's cars up in here all the time. Like those ladies that do hair, sometimes I've had people come and tell me that their neighbors told that they had cars at their house all in the middle of the night. You got to take care of that with the county. You don't want them coming to shut you down. But that is also tax deductible. Those are a few of the things that are tax deductible. And I also mentioned before, your internet and when you have a job and you don't have a business, you can't deduct your cell phone. You can't deduct your internet. There used to be a time when you were able to take what's called employee business expenses. I mean, you are an employee and you still have some expenses to go with that job. They took that away. So if you're an employee, you can't write off part of your cell phone. You can't write off part of your mileage. You can't write off part of your internet or any of that stuff. So I tell, especially my uh, clients, I have several of those. You must get a home based business before the end of this year. You all need to get a home based business, because even if you get now, let's say this is the middle of July. So you start your business, you got August, September, October, November. You can do a lot with that. People that are wealthy, that know how to manage or manipulate the taxes, they'll go out and get loans. Now, when you get loan money, it's not income. It's not income. So if you get a loan for like 25K, that's not income, because you got to pay. Use that 25K to go and buy equipment and supplies and those kinds of things. That's a tax deduction. Now, make sure that you don't have any losses. But when you make decent money, it's okay to go get a business to improve your business, so that you won't have to pay. So, for example, if you made $100,000 in 20 and you had taken out $25,000 in loans, you bought that money in and you bought stuff to enhance your business. So next year that you can make 150 or $200,000 a year. You don't have to pay tax on the $25,000, and you get to write off all those. So I might do some advanced deductions tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I'm going to write that down right now. So tomorrow is Monday, and it'll be like 9 o'clock, and then I'm going to talk about advanced deductions. And you all should be putting your questions in the chat also. If you have questions, about business and about business deductions and about, starting a business and earn. I wanted to, and yesterday I was able to do it. Oh gosh, I'm gonna see if I could do it. So I wanted to, before I forget, I'm doing a live session. I'm doing a challenge. It's gonna start the 17th. So the 17th, 18th, and 19th of this month, I'm gonna be getting deep into what you all need to do to start a home-based business and make sure that you have multiple streams of income, because some of my clients have more than one business. What we do is we start them on something, and then once that thing gets up and running, we go start them on another business. So Here we are. I found it. So we have come on. We have a special link for the challenge for you guys. Paste, copy, move that. I'm gonna put it in a chat because I don't know how else to do it. It's like I think it's a $200 discount. Let's see if it came through. Yeah, without the colon at the beginning. For the challenge. So what it'll be is that I'm doing like an hour worth of teaching, real specific stuff, because I have some businesses that I want to teach how to start that way. So once you know what I'm doing, once I tell I'm doing, then you'll be able to make money immediately. A lot of people say they don't have a business that they can think. I've thought make you $5,000. Boom, 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 boom. We're gonna talk about those, but starting that, and there the link, if it caught it, I think it's gonna work. Um, if you have a great idea already, start out fleshing that out to see if it's gonna make some money. Look at who else is doing that. There are other people that are doing that business. I had one client that like they had a little business and they were running it, and people in their immediate area were buying that product. But then when they started looking outward at other companies, the companies that kind of branched out, they closed down. So I asked them to try to get in touch with those people to see what made them close down. What was it that stopped them in their tracks? And I wanted to do that to make sure that my client, even though they were doing well in their little community, branch out and run into the same problem. A lot of times we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We don't want to reinvent the wheel in a bad way. If it's something good going on, we definitely want to take advantage of it. Okay, so I don't see any questions. Um, just let me questions. So going back to the business. So you think of that business started, then at the year when you you have those deductions. So we'll go over some more deductions. Let me tell you something about deductions and the IRS. For them, I know. I'm going to tell you a few things about it. Number one, the IRS has to prove income. You have to prove expenses. Number one, which means that 1K, sorry, not the 401K, the 1099, the W-2, the K-1, and those kind of forms that get turned in on you from your job or from another business, or if you're self-employed, those are like sworn affidavits that you received taxable income. So if you got a W-2 from your job for $75,000, it's going to the IRS, and the IRS has this quote unquote proof that you have taxable income. You're going to be expecting tax on that $75,000. If you used to file exempt, they don't even let you do that anymore. They changed the W-4 form, and I was alarmed to find out that you can't just put married 6 or single 8 or anything like that anymore. They changed it because they know people were putting exemptions high, and then at the end of the year they didn't have a lot of tax taken out. And when I was at the IRS, I used to do that because make sure that I didn't have to owe at the end of the year. What they want you to do is have a lot of money taken out, and they have your money during the year. They're not give you a lick of interest on that money, and then they give you a little bit back in the form of refund. When you have a business, you can control that more. So the IRS has to prove income. You have to prove expenses. If they don't have any W-2s, 1099s, K-1s on you or anything like that, they don't have a way to prove that you made money. So I know there are businesses out there, or there are people out there that only work for people that won't give them a 1099 or W-2. So they figure, this is my money, and I'm gonna have control of it. You do have to prove expenses. So if you put supplies down of $7,462, and I'm writing that down, $7,462 worth of supplies, if you are audited, you want to see $7,642 worth of receipts. Now, something about receipts. You can make copies of your receipts on your computer. That's fine. They have software for that. I know about that. But if your computer goes down, don't have that anymore, it's tough luck. They will not take your debit card or credit card statements. So you have this debit card statement that has Staples on there, it has Office Depot on there, it has Home Depot. They don't know what you bought, and you can't sit there and add up all of these things from a debit card and say, over the year I spent $7,462, and here it is. No, no, we need receipts. And so if you kept your receipts on a computer, then if you get audited, you're gonna have to print them out. If you keep receipts like me, you'll have them in little binders. So what I have, like you have on the Schedule C, you have all these different categories of expenses. Say, let's say advertising. You put all of the money that you paid in advertising. Postage. You put all the postage in a binder. That's what they want to see. Now, when they're it's years afterwards. So right now we're in 2024. Right now they're still auditing 2022. There's a 3-year statute of limit. If somebody gets audited for 2022, then they see that you didn't keep your receipts and stuff, they're going to pick up your 2023 also. And then if the audit is going long enough, they're going to try to pick up your 2024 in April of 2025. So you want to the receipts that are going out these days from places like Walmart and stuff with this funny ink. And if they get any sun on them, if they get any water on them, anything like that, they just the ink is going to disappear. So when you start your business, one of the first things that you want to buy, the good copy machine. And you copy, just a small one. They got these machines that copy, scan, and they copy, they scan, and they print. If you make a copy, let me see if I got a receipt. So here is a receipt. Where is it from? It's from the Super Negro. The Super Negro is a grocery store here. Super Negro is a grocery store here, East Coast of Costa Rica. And if you see it, it's okay right now, but it's made with that ink that's gonna fade. So when I get home, I will have a printer right here. When I get back to the States, I'll make copies. And what I do is I have a regular sheet of paper like this, sheet of paper, and then staple the original. So I have the copy right here. That's not going to fade away. The original is going to be stapled to it. It may or may not fade away, but I'm not giving it to fade away and I keep this stuff for like 3 years. Like I said, the statute of limitations is 3 years. So the people that turned in a 20 turn on or before April 15th, that was 2023. They turned it in April of 2024. April 25, 26, 27. So April of 27, that 2023 return is going to fall off, and you don't keep it on longer than that. But I invest in file cabinets. Keep that stuff in file cabinets until you get ready to throw it away. With the situations that I've had with those people, I don't throw a lot away. Anyway, those receipts are horrible. If you leave them in the sun, if you leave them in your dash, you don't have any proof. They want proof. They will not accept credit. I had one client that came to me. I have her testimony in writing. She had a bad medical diagnosis the same day she got the letter that she was audited. And she was one of the ones that she thought it was going to be okay. I actually got with her and her husband and showed them what to do and owe them money back when I was done with that. That's one thing I wanted to tell you about the IRS, that you have to prove your expenses. When you're getting audited, the second thing is, since they're auditing so far, they're auditing tax returns from 2020 right now. It may have changed, but when I was there, they told us that if the person had about 80% of those expenses, then give them the whole thing, because it's been so long ago. But if they don't have at least 80%, you take what they don't have. Give you an example. If you wrote off something for $1,000 And when you got all the receipts, they would go ahead and check off on the $1,000. But if you got audited and you wrote off $1,000 and you only had $400 worth of receipts, the 400. So those are two things that you need to know. It's strategic thinking, and just knowing these things will save you thousands of dollars when you have a job and when you have a business very well. You are comfortable because other men, and then you're building that business up, and then after that you're going to start building wealth. And I about that because that's what I like to do for people. So because the receipts fade, I'm going to go back up to the chat and see if I missed any. um is AI going to change the way the IRS works so that it uses other methods to find out your income? Now, good. There's a fight going on right now because what they're trying to do is they're trying to make Venmo and Stripe and Square and PayPal that report the money that you made starting at $600. Now, is a special number because you're supposed to issue 1099s for anybody that you paid over $600. It's not the people that were making $600 or more being self-employed were already supposed to get. Those big companies have so many people that are bringing there that they didn't have to do that. So, for example, PayPal had a threshold of $20,000. Well, I make annually with PayPal, never got anywhere near $20,000. So I never got a 1099. But now they and others are required to give you a 1099. They're angry because of the gig workers, what they call the gig workers. All these people that popped up during COVID and said, wait a minute, I can't go down, but I'm going to find something to do. And they started making money. They're using, what's the other one? It's, we got Stripe, we got Zelle. That's it. The Zelle, all of those are supposed to be reporting if you brought money in. And see, that's not right, y'all. Because, for example, if we have a Thanksgiving dinner and then everybody in the house and I'm buying the turkey and all that stuff like that, they put money in that's not income. So it's a big, those big companies, it's going to cost them millions of dollars to issue all these people, all these little 1099s. And they could have made $1,000. One person, how many people made $2,000, $5,000? It's going to be wild, but that's what's coming up in 2024. So yes, I think there may be other ways that these people use to find out people's income. It's kind of hard. Let me just give you an example, an old time example. Somebody that's doing lawn care. They tell clients, I'll give you a discount if you, and this is not what my lawn guy does, but I'll give you a discount if you pay me. And some people say, well, I want to keep track of it, so I have to give you a check. So this person gets a lot of cash for doing these loans, but they get some, and what they would do, and this person is no longer on earth with us now. Take some checks to all those different banks. It took a little while. Let's say if during the week that person got checks from 4 different banks, they would take them into that bank with their driver's. I know that the banks make you take your fingerprint and put it on the back of the check and all of that. That's just not feasible for people to be tracking people down like that. And that was one of the ways that people used to get away and not pay. But that, I don't know if they're going to find a way to use AI to do that, but I'm pretty sure they're working on it, because it's you that they want to get the money from, not the people, the ones up there in DC. Okay. That ink might be toxic. Yes, yeah, I believe that be. Receipts for donations treated the same. No. Okay. I'm gonna try to go quickly with the donation. So a long time ago, you used to be able to your non-cash charitable contribution. There's cash contributions, cash contribution, but they're all centered around you being able to itemize deductions. Itemizing deductions is Schedule A, and that used to be where you put your real estate taxes, your real estate interest, your medical expenses, all that. And if all that stuff these days, if all that stuff adds up to over $25,000 if you're married, or I think $14,000 if you're single, then you can still itemize. But they increased the standard deduction so high last couple of years that they don't want people to itemize. So for example, if you're a single person and the standard deduction is, I'm gonna say 14,600, it's, let's say it's $14,600. That's what they're gonna automatically give you. But if you have real estate taxes, real estate interest, cash contributions, non-medical expenses, and all that, that adds up to over 14,600, then you go ahead and itemize and take the 14,600. Now, somebody that is going to go over that 14,600, it will behoove them to talk to their relatives and get non-cash gifts of clothing. So if you're already over and your relative, was got a whole bunch of Goodwill clothes, take it from them, sort them out. Like I said before, I've said this before. This is only going to work now if you can still itemize your deductions. Sort them out, write down what it is: 7 pair of pants, 4 dresses, 9 suits, whatever, and then look up the Salvation Army thrift store value guide and see how much it's worth, and then take pictures of it. So you stick together the picture. You want to print that picture off your phone as soon as you can, because if you got 50 pictures in your phone of different times that you went to Goodwill, then you're not going to remember which ones go with what paper. But you're going to print the picture. You're going to have that itemized list of what you gave. You're going to have the thrift store value of what it's worth. And you could write off thousands of dollars in non-cash contributions that way. I've done that. However, if your standard deduction is 14,600 and your single is 14,600, and you don't have anything that's going to go over that 14,600, then those clothes and things aren't going to do good, and you might as well find somebody that can use them. Okay, I hope that helped with that answer. I'll take a few more. I was trying to keep up with the time because it won't let me go over. I'll take maybe 1 or 2 more questions if you have them. What I'm doing is, while I'm here in Costa Rica, I'm going to try to come on at 9 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. Today is Sunday. I want to do this Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday's going to be a travel day. I have to go back to San Jose, but for 2 more nights. So Monday night at 9, Tuesday night at 9, I want to come back on. And somebody throw some subjects in the chat that they want to hear right quick before I go. Throw subjects in the chat that you want to hear about, because I'd like to feed the information that you want. I know I'm going to sit here and talk about home-based businesses all the day long. And I think I've mentioned before, the reason that I like businesses is because you don't have to have another place that you got to pay rent for. You can do it all times of night. I'm a night person, and I might I have a rough day. I've got meetings that I'm all over town or whatever. And I might come home and I might crash for a little while, I might stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, a lot of you can't do that because you got families and stuff like that. But the flexibility of having a home-based business, you don't have to work 9 to 5. It doesn't have 9 to 5. It could be 7 in the morning to, I had one guy that I know, he's an associate, that he gets up, he works from 5 to 7 in the morning and make at least $500 a day. So anyway, let me see if I can move the chat. See, I just moved the chat, and now I see that there are questions. Oh no, I'm breaking up. I'm so sorry. David, what platform are you looking at? Because I don't know. Can I tell? I think that might be Facebook. I'm sorry that I'm breaking up. This is Costa Rica. I don't see a problem up here, but I'm hoping that you all can see it. Biden signed for it, huh? Cash App. I don't use it. They kind of stole some money from me before, but that may be another one that they're gonna start monitoring. I'm going to chat before I go out. I'm trying to make sure. Oh, okay. The IRS owes me money, but I'm not saying that all caps name with the middle initial is me. And I do. They ignore a whole bunch of stuff that they should be paying attention to. But in the end, I've had people that have done things, that filed paperwork and stuff and got dragged out of their houses anyway. So you got to pick your battles. Whatever battle you want to pick, make sure you are doing. Investing your dollars. Best ways to invest small amounts. Okay, that's one. I'm writing it down. How to handle multiple businesses, different credit card. Ooh, Lord. I'm a witness. I'm a witness on this one, guys. Oh my goodness. I'm going to see if I can actually snapshot it. I don't know if I can. I think I heard that go. Okay, how to handle multiple businesses. Um, multiple credit cards, bank accounts. Okay, if you make commissions on Google or YouTube, worth opening a business, it can be done on a 1040 EZ. If you open a business, you can no longer use a 1040 on anything besides a job. It's worth opening. Remember, I said you can write off part of your cell phone, your laptop, your internet, mileage, all of you can write off all that stuff. And you're making money on some other platform too. Oh yeah, definitely start a bill. You don't have to incorporate. Just start your business. Go get your federal ID and get you a bank account. Have the money going in there. That bank account, the federal ID number and business license legitimizes your business. Those folks can't say you don't have a business, regardless of whether you make losses or not. Those folks say you don't have business. Okay. Thank you. Share the knowledge so that everybody can be helped. And somebody called me the Harriet Tubman of finance, and I'm like, whoever's going to shoot you like she did if you don't go, but if you want to go, we're going. Ways, multiple streams of multiple streams of income. How do you deduct a lease for a car in a home-based business? You either take the mileage or you take the lease expenses, but you can't get 100% of it unless you 100% use that. Lease cars, people that make a whole bunch of money, I think it's good to other that people should, my personal opinion, will collapse or will face massive crisis. Would gold coins such as maple leafs, no, they're going to have value just like any real gold and real silver is going to have in multiple streams of income. Got that one. It's gotten better recently. Great, thank you. Okay, you're on YouTube, and I don't know why you were blanking out. See, that's YouTube is my strong. I don't know why I was messing up. Thank you, David. Free and clear home titles. Is it difficult to invest in Costa Rica or Panama? No, that's what I did. That's why I have one property's paid for. No, I have two properties paid for. One of them I have the deed. One of them I'm waiting on the deed. Mortgage on this house. Then I've got some. No, I mean you can be from another country and invest here. The thing is, you want to invest. You don't. A soldier, when a soldier's fighting, they don't stand there one place and moving around in different places. Digital marketing is okay. I'm going to go quickly here. Yeah, give me some likes. That's good. Okay, so I've made snapshots because I'm not going to be able to write them all down. But tomorrow when we come back, we'll talking about some of these things. I might talk about some more deductions, and then so that's Monday night at 9. Then Tuesday night at 9, we'll just more link the challenge, escape the rat race challenge. Is the riddle gives you a discount. So I will talk to you guys later. And I'm praying that I get the same or better reception tomorrow as the internet here. It's going to cut me off now. Have a great one.